won't believe what I turned these wood rounds into. I grabbed a bag of them from the dollar store and I set them aside. I started by drilling holes into both ends of a plastic Easter egg. Then I measured a wood skewer to be the length of the 2 eggs, and I carefully poked the wood skewer through, adding a bit of hot glue between the 2 eggs. Then I put some hot glue on top of a wood round, placed the 2 eggs on top, and I held it while it dried for a few seconds. I added hot glue to the top egg, and I placed the wood round on top of that. Again, I held it until it was completely dry. I repeated these steps for another one. This time I secured 4 eggs together. I also did a third one, but skipped the wood skewer because I only used 1 plastic eggshell. I placed tea lights on top, and now I have super adorable and festive candlesticks to enjoy for Easter. I hope this inspires you to get creative with wood rounds and Easter eggs.
I picked up these plastic Easter bunnies from my local dollar store, and they had them in 4 different colors. I'm going to begin with my glue gun, and all I'm going to do is apply a generous amount of hot glue. We're going to do it in small increments so the glue doesn't harden at the same time. Then we can break out a little bit of this moss and just place it right on that hot glue. So continue throughout small little sections of this plastic bunny, and make sure to add a generous amount of moss so we don't see the plastic bunny underneath. And we'll add more hot glue and some more moss. So we continued filling in, and now we're going to do the rest of this bunny. And again, small sections work best so that the glue doesn't harden up while you're working in all of the moss. And now we have both sides done, so we're going to complete this by placing them one on top of one another. And since these are kind of one container, they snap in place. So once you get them to snap in place, look at how cute this bunny is. Now it's time to make a bow, so we're going to use this really pretty faux du peony, which I think is perfect for spring. And you can find this available at nicksseasonaldecor.com as well. I'm going to start with 2 tails. We're going to just cut about a 6 to 8 inch length, like so. And I'm actually taking this ribbon, I love it. It's a 2.5 inch, which is a little bit wide for the bunny since we're designing on a smaller bunny. So what I'm actually going to do is just take that ribbon, fold it in half, and we're going to create some smaller loops like that. And that way it's not going to overpower a bunny. So we're going to create 2 loops about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, like so. We'll do the same thing by just taking it and flipping it over. And then we'll do one final loop right in the middle, and this is known as a button loop, and this is going to hide our pipe cleaner. Snip off our ribbon. We'll take our tails, place them underneath the little bow, and we'll just secure that with a pipe cleaner, like that. Here we have our little bow tied. I'm going to flip it over. I cut off the pipe cleaner, and I'm going to add a generous amount of hot glue to the back. And all we're going to do is place that between the head and the body, creating a little bow tie for our bunny. And here is how it turned out, you guys. I absolutely love it. And the best part of this is that it costs $1.25 for the plastic bunny from the dollar store, a little bit of moss, and some leftover ribbon. So truthfully, this costs less than $3 to create, and I absolutely love it. So you can do this in all colors. You can do it in different types of moss, different ribbons, and I think these are a really cute alternative to your typical bunny.
For this project, you will need a dollar store twig bunny form, 2 mop heads, and a few faux flowers. For my wreath, I just wanted the head, so the first step was to clip the wires, unravel them, and separate the head from the body. Next, you will take your mop head apart and then strand by strand fold them in half and cut them. Do this to all the pieces of the mop heads. Now, we will place a piece of folded yarn under the wreath and then pull the ends through the loop and tug until tight. Before you go any further, decide if you want the yarn to stick straight out from the face like I have it now, or if you would like it to cover up the loop of the yarn. I decided I wanted to cover up the loop, so I repositioned the loops by pulling them straight up. I felt that seeing the loops would take away from the bunny, as I wanted it to just look like a fuzzy bunny face and not be able to see any of the smooth parts of the yarn. Go all the way around the face of the bunny, looping the yarn. Next, we will separate the individual segments of each piece of yarn. So untwist the yarn and then gently separate the pieces of the yarn. Once that is all done, add a few faux flowers. I chose some sprigs with soft, small leaves and delicate purple flowers. Then I added a pretty pink faux peony in the center. Look how cute it turned out. Style it on a door, mirror, window, or in a frame with some Easter decor and fresh white daisies, and you have the sweetest Easter display.
First, I cracked 3 eggs into a bowl and emptied out the contents. If you're using a large egg carton container like mine, cut this down to create one long base for your centerpiece. Grab your moss and fill the inside holes of the egg carton. Once you're happy with the look, place your eggshells into the slots in whatever pattern you'd like. I picked up some basic white tea lights and placed them inside of the empty shells. Now for the fun part. Grab your decorative materials and start laying out your design. I hope this inspired you to create your own egg carton decor.
We're going to begin with a 12-inch styrofoam cone. We're going to start by snipping off each tulip about 2 inches long. So typically use your floral cone like this. However, we're going to flip this upside down, and we're going to start with 1 flower right at the tip. And to secure our flowers, we are going to use some floral pins. And just keep them in place just by sticking that floral pin right into the styrofoam. Once we have one all the way at the tip, we're going to work in our next few slightly angled in. Now we're going to come back with one in the middle and just continue filling in. I have 2 left, and all we're going to do is just place those inside and secure them once again with the floral pin. And our last tulip. And don't worry about right here because we are going to work in a bow, but before we do that, we're going to work in some greenery. And if you haven't guessed yet, we are creating a really cool carrot, wall decor, door decor, you name it. I think this is going to look beautiful anywhere. So now it's time for the carrot top. So I found this asparagus fern, and you can find this at nickseasonaldecor.com, and I think it's the perfect texture to simulate the carrot tops. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that greenery and just poke it in towards the surface. Just like that. And I think that's the perfect way to finish off the top of the carrot. But now it's time to come back in with the bow to cover up our stems. Now we're going to create a simple little bow. So we have this really pretty burlap carrot ribbon. And you can find these and the pipe cleaners from nickseasonaldecor.com as well. We're going to just cut a length of tails. They don't have to be long at all. We don't want to really cover up the carrots that we made out of tulips. So about 12-inch tails on either side. And now what we're going to do is we are going to create a bow. So we're going to do about 4-inch loops on either side. Take your first loop, create it, flip it over, create your second loop, pinch in the middle, reverse your ribbon, and do 2 more loops, 1 on either side. So we want 2 loops on either side. And once we have that, we're going to create 1 more final loop known as a button loop right in the middle. And that's just going to cover up our pipe cleaner. Now we're going to take our scissors, snip off our bow, take our tails, place them underneath, take a pipe cleaner and secure it. And we have a really pretty bow to cover up our stems. And now what we can do is just take our bow and secure it to those stems. And here is how it turned out, you guys. I absolutely love it, and it was so budget friendly. We used 2 bunches of tulips, 1 asparagus fern, a styrofoam cone, and a little bit of ribbon. And that is it to create something really cute for all spring long. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Nick Creticos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and you're watching me on Hometalk. See you in the next episode.